Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing. Today we're looking at the next wave of releases for the Solar Auxilia. So a couple of weeks ago we saw the Solar Auxilia army set come out. Really cool set which had all the kind of infantry, the command squad and the Dracosan, the Leman Russ and the Heavy Sentinel in there. Now we've got more of the range coming out, and I think we'll see a fairly rapid release schedule for the Solar Auxilia. I think they're going to be very, very popular. So massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us free review copies to have a look at. In this wave we've got the Dracosan Armoured Transport, which we've already seen in another unboxing, but we'll have a quick look at the kit, see how it goes together. But more excitingly, we've got the Malcador heavy tank, which is built off that same chassis as the Dracosan with a few kind of stylistic changes here or there, and the Veletrais Storm Section. So yeah, really excited to have a look at these kits, see how they go together. In the video we'll be having a look at the parts, we'll have a look at the instructions, see what all the kind of like assembly instructions are and the different parts, because it's worth saying in the other Solar Auxilia vehicles that we reviewed a few weeks ago, it is very easy to make these things modular so you can swap out the different weapons, which is great. We'll also see kind of, you know, what uses there are for other bits in the kit. I mentioned for the command squad you're lacking some of the special weapons. Now obviously in this one, if you build it with the storm axes, you might have some spare Volkite weaponry as well. So what we'll be doing is checking out to see if it's possible to kit bash across the two of them as well, which may be an option, which is really cool. And then yeah, in the second half of the video we'll have these built and hopefully have a bit of paint on them to see what they look like in the flesh, and again do some size comparisons to some other models in the range. So first of all, we'll have a quick look at the Dracosan box, because we've already seen this one. We're not going to go too in depth into this one, because if you want to see a full in-depth video on it, we've got our unboxing of the big army set. But yeah, this is a transport for the Solar Auxilia. You can either build it with a las cannon, which means it can carry 20 men, or build it with the demolisher cannon so it can only carry 10 men, but it's got a big gun strapped to the front of it. You've got lots of options on this one, with the guy popping out at the top. It's a really nice looking kit. Some of the builds for the Solar Auxilia, so some of the cohorts, require you to have transports for all your infantry units. So if you go tank heavy or artillery heavy, you might want to take quite a few of these. Now I was expecting it to be very expensive. This is £55, which I don't think is bad at all, considering this thing's bigger than a Land Raider. And obviously depending on the cohort that you're running, you might need quite a few of these, so it's not too bad of a price point really. We'll have a quick look at the sprues, but again I'm not going to go massively into this one because we've seen it before. And a seamless jump cut later with the tape cut off the box. Again, this is the same one that we've seen in the big army set, so no need to dwell on this one too long. But big chunky tank, really easy to make the weapon swappable. This front weapon here uses a different kind of gun shield, so what you can do is put magnets in it or just blue tack it, which is what I've done for mine to make it possible to swap between the two builds. The sprues, really, we're going to see a lot of these in the Malcador unboxing because it shares a lot of parts, but it is a really nice kit, and we're going to see that in a bit more detail at the end of the video. But what people want to see really are the brand new kits that are up for pre-order today. The one I'm most excited for is the Malcador, because I want to go really tank heavy with my Solar Auxilia. Tanks really appeal to me, so this is such a cool kit. I built one for you know, Legions Imperialis. I've never had the joy of working with a big resin one of these, so really excited to get on the plastic one. Fans of like the Deathcore of Krieg and like Traitor Guard as well, I'm sure a lot of people will be eyeing up this tank because it's got a certain vibe. It kind of feels like those Vrax campaign vehicles. So while it's not got any 40k rules as such, I could see people proxying this as a Rogue or Dawn or something maybe. But yeah, let's open this up and have a look what we've got. Now it has got a few weapon options on it. You can give it the Vanquisher cannon, a battle cannon, Gravis las cannon, then you've got quite a few different sponson options and quite a few different secondary weapon options. So again, we'll have a look to see how customizable this one is, and if you can get some magnets or blue tack to make it quite swappable, because I think this is going to be a super popular tank if that is the case. I'll be painting this up in Chthonian Headhunter colours because, you know, I'm a filthy traitor, aren't I? So yeah, without further ado, let's have a look at the kit. Now this sprue we've seen before. This is essentially your, it was on the Lehman Russ, I believe, for some of your secondary weapons. This looks like it'll go on the sponsons, and this means that, you see the little plugs on them, a little dab of blue tack, and it should let you swap all of the sponson weapons between games, which is really, really good. I think they've made a real effort on these kits to make it so that you can swap as much as possible, which is, you know, that's really, really good. I fully approve of that. So that's the sponson frame. Next sprue in the box looks like the main kind of weaponry one. Now this one may be trickier to make the main gun modular. I'm hoping that it is possible though. Maybe with magnets or clever assembly of the top hatch. In the second half of the video I will kind of let you know if that is the case, because I would quite like to make this kind of fully swappable. It looks like you get enough bits to perhaps build each of the main kind of turrets on there and then lift off the main canopy to swap them out. I really hope that's the case, because that would be very, very cool and mean that you get a lot of bang for your buck being able to swap out all the weapons on here. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out in a little bit. But yeah, that's very, very cool. So that's the main turret there. The rest of the kit, I believe, is going to be the same as the Dracosan. So we've got this generic kind of upgrade frame. You've got all your pintle mounted weapons on there. You've got that really nice looking dozer blade. And then a few other bits and bobs on there. Yeah, these are really cool. I love the aesthetic of all these tanks. That looks like the extension bit for the back of it, and more tracks on there. And then you've got the main chassis of the tank on here too. So yeah, similar size to the Dracosan. It looks like it's got a few less frames on there because the Dracosan covers up a lot of this side panelling in order to make it kind of usable as a transport. Now obviously with the Malcador you don't need that because you're just using those as those side sponsons. So they've done a really clever way of putting these tanks together to make them, you know, there's a few different variants of this that's still not come out yet as well. So the flame one, for example, they can just bundle this as a separate kit. We'll have a quick look at the instructions before we jump on. It is worth noting that we also have a transfer sheet as well, which looks like it has got icons for the Chthonian Headhunters on there, and then lots of other little transfers you can use to denote your allegiance. So that's really cool. If we have a look at the instructions though, we'll see that a lot of the build is very similar to the Dracosan. It is essentially the same tank with a different turret on the top of it. The side sponsons just slot into there, and then it looks like you can just plug on the weapons onto them, which is a really, really good design option. All this looks the same as the Malcador. A few little differences in the back of it, how it goes together, and then the main turret as well. So I reckon if you build this as a separate part, and then I think, oh, maybe not, maybe you do need that 26 and 27 to lock onto the main turret. I'm sure there will be ways to make this swappable. I'll have a play with it, and in the second half of the video see if it is feasible to leave these separate and kind of wedge them in this part, and then that hopefully has enough like resistance on it to hold those pieces together. You could maybe put a small magnet or again a dab of blue tack or something But I think it is going to be possible to make all those guns swap out, because they all use different parts. So you're going to have essentially these 3 parts and then one of this. They just get sandwiched between, and then this bit sandwiches that on top. So I reckon there'll be enough kind of like pressure in there to make them like stay together and not look odd. And if they do pop apart, there's things you can do with blue tack or magnets. So again, I'll report on that in the second half, but I'm fairly convinced I'll be able to make this so that all of the weapons on it can be swapped, which is really, really cool. Again, we've got the same upgrade frames for the top of it. Again, they can be taken into squadrons, so you can give them tank commanders and the like. And then if it's anything like the other tank, the secondary weapons just plug in, and again you build the demolisher cannon in its entirety, and then this one, they just plug in. So I've just used blue tack on the Lehman Russ to make that modular. So yeah, fairly convinced this is going to be a nice one to build and have a fully switchable Malcador. Now I haven't tried it, but it may be possible to make the dozer blade removable as well. I'd like to do that because I think it'd be cool to be able to swap it out between games. It should only take a couple of magnets on the bottom to do that. You might have a play with it and see if you need to put the magnets inside it, or there's something for them to attach to on the bottom. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very good kit for swapping out all the parts. And then finally in this video today, we have got the Veletrais Storm Section. So this is an elite's choice for the Solar Auxilia. These guys are rocking Volkite, rotor cannons or axes. This kit contains the parts for the Volkites and the axes, so presumably there's going to be an upgrade sprue or a separate kit for the rotor cannons. There's also a command squad as well. We'll have a look on here, see if that is something that you can maybe kit bash with the existing command squad that we've got. But yeah, let's crack them open and have a look. This is another kit that I'm looking forward to building, and I think I'm probably going to build them up with the axes because I think that's pretty cool. There's something ridiculous about just a normal guy in a suit of heavy armour punching a space marine with a big axe. So let's have a look. What do we have here? So interestingly, it looks like this is built up around command sprues maybe? Let's move them to one side. So you get 2 identical frames, and these look like... Ooh, I'll have to check against them. I'm not sure if this is a brand new frame or the same as the one that builds up the command squad. I think it is a new frame actually, looking at the parts. Because these guys are fitted with like heavier armour. So it means what they can do is, you know, sell this bundled with another command frame in order to make your command sections. I reckon they're probably being quite clever and have the parts from that command upgrade sprue that we saw in the previous box be compatible with this one. But there's a lot of weapon options on here. Again, I think this is going to be one of those ranges where if you've got access to all the different sprues, you're going to be able to put together some cool stuff. Pistols and all sorts on there. So yeah, it looks like this does have all the command options on it too, which is interesting. So we get 2 of those frames, and then we get 2 of the weapon frames. So presumably, yeah, we'll get another kit with the rotor cannons on there too. This frame has the parts for the axes and the Volkites, and I'm fairly certain these are going to be, even if you have to do a little bit of cutting, compatible with the command squad, so that you can outfit them with Volkite if you want to. I mean, they might even sell that separately if they are compatible. But yeah, there's definitely some cool stuff you can do by combining these kits. What we'll do before we jump to the future and have a look at the assembled kits though, is have a look at the instructions to see how they go together, because that might give us some more clues to how these can be built. So we've got the Veletrais Prime. He's got a load of different weapon options on there. Needle pistols, plasma pistols, power sword, chargeable tabor, all sorts of stuff there. And then yeah, we've got the the various options here. You've got an option for a Vox Interlink and a Vexilla on there too. These are big chunky boys. I think I am going to build them with the Storm Axes because they just look ridiculously cool. And I'm pretty certain you get those Volkite weapons working on the other models. Yeah, they're very nice. Really, really cool. So what we're going to do now is jump ahead to the future. We've got these built and hopefully have some paint on them to see how they stack up to the other models in the Solar Auxilia range. So let's take a look at the assembled models, and first of all, with a bit of tinkering, the Malcador is fully kind of customizable. You can swap out all the weapons, which is really, really cool. So let's have a look at that first. Now these side weapons I've just attached with little blobs of blue tack, and you get a full sprue with all the other weapon options on there too. Those same weapons are compatible with this panel here, which puts the front gun on, and then again I've just put a little bit of blue tack so I can have that front gun swappable. So obviously you want to demolish a cannon, that piece just goes on, or that mounts any of the other guns for that front panel. Now if you do want 3 las cannons, you don't get 3 of them in the kit, but it is compatible with the identical sprue from the Dracosan or the Lehman Russ. So if you picked up the battle group box, then you've probably got a few spare weapons that you'd be able to use to kind of arm everything. For this as well, I've also magnetised the dozer blade. So I've put a couple of magnets in kind of the hollowed out area within the connection, and inside the main chassis I put some kind of heavy duty magnets so that I can swap out the dozer blade, because I really like it with it on, but I wanted the options to kind of swap it out. Now the main weapon is also magnetisable too. What I've done in order to kind of make this easier, this top piece is just attached with a little bit of blue tack at the top, which means that you've got a little bit of flex so you can take out that entire section. If you leave this kind of gun assembly without gluing it together, so this is just completely kind of unstuck, that then allows you to swap out the weapon, put in the other one, and then pop that back under there, put the lid back down, and then you've got all of the weapon options available then, fully swappable. So we've got that one, and if we take that out, and again just take that apart, and this one, these go kind of one way. You'll notice they're the wrong way around because it all kind of bend the other direction. And again, pop that in there, reattach the top one, and you've got the Dracosan just with the battle cannon. So really, really easy to do. Like I say, just leaving this top bit blue tack so you can get to it. You could put some little magnets in there, but I found you don't really need to. Maybe if you're playing in an event or something and it's going to be, you know, touched and moved around a lot, then that might make it a little bit easier. But all of these just really easily blue tack on, that you don't really need to use magnets in there, which is really, really good. I've not done the same for the Lehman Russ. I am going to, because I suspect it's going to be a very similar assembly, and hopefully some of the turrets are compatible. I haven't looked at that, but certainly these the little weapons that go on the sponsons on the front, they're interchangeable across the entire Solar Auxilia range. So it's a really, really cool feature, and if you do want to make your tanks modular so you can swap out all the weapons, really, really easy to do. So that is a look at the Malcador. We've also got the Storm Section too, and these are gorgeous kits too. Now I've not had a chance to get these painted up, and I will be putting a post up on the site once these are done, because I'm torn on what colour scheme to do them, whether they're you know, Chthonian colours, or I do them in the green from the box art. I'm really torn at the minute because there's lots of cool Solar Auxilia schemes, but these models are really, really nice. Now, like with the standard kind of rifle section, They are a little bit fiddly to build. Obviously I built them with the big axes that you can see here, so you've got to kind of like marry up where the arms are going to go. With the Volkites, they're probably a bit easier to put together because I suspect the gun just tucks underneath the arm. But yeah, these are very nice models. And obviously they've got quite a chunkier armour compared to the standard kind of rifle section. These are your elites. Now, there is a cohort where you can take these as line and core. I forget what it's called, but it's basically the kind of elite Solar Auxilia build. They can take flyers as transports, all that kind of thing. But yeah, these are very, very nice kits, and I'm looking forward to getting them painted up and seeing how they do on the battlefield. I don't know how much chance of survival a guy with a big axe has against facing a Space Marine, but you know, these guys can be pretty scary in the right cohort. You put them in the feral cohort, which causes fear and stuff, then you know, even Space Marines might struggle against them. So yeah, very, very nice kit. So yeah, that was a quick look at the new Solar Auxilia kits that are up for pre-order today. I think most of the wave is now up. The 2 different Lehman Russ kits are up for pre-order, and obviously all the kits that came in that battle group box as well. In addition to that, the next Horus Heresy supplement, the Battle for Beta Garmin, is also up for pre-order. Over on spruesandbrews.com, I do have a full written review of that supplement, so if you are interested in seeing what's in there, what rules are included, what lore it covers, head over to spruesandbrews.com where I've got all that covered in the review. If you have enjoyed the video as well, why not give us a follow? We do lots of unboxings and battle reports and painting videos and that kind of stuff, so if you have enjoyed this, give us a follow because we've got lots more stuff coming on the way. And again, we want to get some more battle reports up soon as well, so that's going to be something that we're working on in the background. If you do want to support the site as well, I do have an affiliate link to Element Games in the description. If you use that, we get a bit of a kickback, which helps produce more videos like this. But yeah, until next time, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.